What is up, guys? So as you can tell, I am back at the shop. Don is here chilling. So the past couple days I've been in Vegas. I just got back last night, so the video timelines might be a little screwed up because they were sponsored videos by Hyundai, so they have to review them until I can post them. So this might go before Vegas or after Vegas, who knows? We'll find out when I post it. But I came home to an awesome surprise. So CX Racing is actually sponsoring the budget build, and they sent us a turbo kit, and I couldn't be happier. I'm so stoked. Jimmy's stoked, and now I can show you guys basically the essences, essences. How do you say that word? Essences. Did I say it right?
Thank you.
I said it so many times I don't even know what it. Okay, essences of turboing a car. So I haven't even opened it up yet, so we're gonna unbox this real quick. We got two big boxes. I don't know what this is. Might be an exhaust, but I know for sure this is the most of the turbo stuff. So, you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
All right, so let's check this out. It's not that sharp.
This is
Okay.
exhaust.
No, this is.
More the turbo kit. That's a down pipe.
Oh, we got a down pipe.
Alright, let's try not to.
There's a lot of stuff in here. Show them the main course.
Ah, right here. Oh, it's gonna be all oil, like it's all assembly oil and all that.
Dude, that thing's huge.
It is pretty big.
Oh my gosh. Dude, that's a huge turbo.
Yeah.
So they give you a test sheet, which is pretty cool, of the vibration of the turbo, which is essentially like the balancing of the wheel. Any vibrations means that, you know, it's misbalanced, but look at that. Nice and smooth. Alright, so with the CX Racing Kit, it essentially comes with everything you need to get your car turboed, which is really nice because if you try to piece turbo kits together, it ends up costing a decent amount of money just because there's a lot of small pieces, like, you know, all the gaskets alone probably cost you a couple $100. Then you need your oil lines, your coolant lines, your exhaust work, your intercooler work. It just all adds up. So this is cool. Everything's all in one place, gonna make it nice and easy for us. So let's give a breakdown of the whole kit. Alright, so obviously the first part, the important part, is the turbo. Trying to decide what size turbo you need. I'll let you guys do your own research for this. There you go. From there, we need to put the turbo on the engine, and that is our turbo manifold. So this uses the exhaust manifold, put our turbo on it. And then we also have our port for our external wastegate. Sometimes your wastegate, yeah, is built into the turbo. Not a lot of stock turbos, but in this case, ours is external. And this essentially releases the air, so it doesn't go into the turbo, so you don't overspool your turbo. So now, our wastegate. So this bolts onto the manifold. This is absolutely ginormous. As you can see, that's unreal. So this, like I said, goes on the manifold, and this lets all the excess gas pressure relief from the manifold, so you don't, you know, you can control the boost on your turbo. So, and it comes with all the air fittings and everything for it. So this is nice. All banjo bolts. Now in our turbo, we need the line. So in your turbo, usually you have oil feeding through and you have coolant feeding through it. One to cool, one to lubricate. They're the lines that go to it. So and whatever else we got to make work into here. So it comes with all the fittings and everything already. All right, now for the rest of the kit is the exhaust. So we have our downpipe or turbo elbow, whatever you want to call it. So it comes off the back of the turbo, relieves the excess air out, bung for our O2 sensor, and then gives us essentially like a mid-pipe for it too. So we can go and connect it just like just like that. So this is nice too. It comes with a flex in it. Some of them don't have the flex, and you end up causing a lot of stress on your turbo. So this will be really nice. So now the air coming out of the turbo is going to be pretty hot. So what we have here is an intercooler. It actually cools the air before it goes into the engine. A lot of you guys probably know what this is. Well, this comes with all the couplers, which is nice because this does add up. Or not hose clamps. It comes with all the couplers too. Like I said, these do add up very quick too. All the piping and the intercooler, which we'll take out in a little bit. But this essentially is just a radiator for your air. It also comes with a blow-off valve. Now this relieves your system of all the excess air so it doesn't cause turbo surge. I guess is that the easiest way to put it. So as you guys probably know, the infamous turbo, Don, you want to do the noise? Well, that's what it sounds like with no blow-off valve.
Yeah.
But with the blow-off valve, there you go.
There you go.
Comes with a blow-off valve and some vacuum lines, and then everything else you need, like all the little stuff. Like there's a bunch of hardware. There's a bunch of gaskets, and there's a few fittings here and there. So the gaskets are in here, some random hardware, some more gaskets, and so yeah, we should be able to piece together a whole entire turbo kit for this.
Sick.
Now there's there's always a few more things you could use in this wind turbo in a car. A tunable ECU is definitely usually a big one, and you're gonna want probably bigger injectors depending on how much boost you run, because now that you're running more air, you're gonna want more fuel, which means also upgrading your fuel pump too. If a lot of cars can get away with running lower boost, and you could use your stock stuff. The KAs, if you keep under about 7 psi and using FMU, you could probably get away with it. But for our case, we did get a new ECU and a new fuel pump and new injectors, so we can get as much power out of this kit as we possibly can.
And I will be doing the same, guys, so keep an eye on that.
Alright, so I guess there's no reason not to just put the kit in now. The motor is basically ready, I'm ready, and the kit's all here. So yeah, I wasn't really anticipating this, but I guess why the heck not. So this kit is actually really easy to install. It's pretty straightforward, so I guess we're just gonna jump right into it. Why the heck not? So if this motor's still in the car and you're doing this, obviously take the whole exhaust side off. You're not gonna need any of it, and you need all this space open. So we're gonna start in the exhaust side and work our way over. So the first really main thing to do is we're gonna bolt on our turbo manifold. This thing. Kit's sick because it comes with a new gasket, so that's one last thing we have to get somewhere else. So one, easy as that. Now I guess just let's bolt it together, and there you go. All right, so I quickly learned when you're doing this, you have to put this bolt on first, then the middle bolt, then the two outers and the lower, because as you could tell, the clearance is very tight, so the manifold actually has to be separated from the head quite a bit. You have to snake this spacer and this nut on first, and you can get these down here, and you can tighten the rest of them. So make sure you do that, or else you're gonna have to keep undoing this thing. The manifold is all on, now we can put the turbo on, but we have to set the turbo up before we put it on. So like I was saying before, turbos usually have a coolant feed and an oil feed. In this case, it just uses the oil to basically lubricate it and cool it. All right, so the first piece we gotta install is the oil feed. Now, this is a high pressure oil line, and it feeds the turbo from the top. Make sure this goes on top and not the bottom. The bottom is actually for the oil return, which is the low pressure side, that essentially just kind of drips the oil back into the pan. Now, they both come with the gaskets and the bolts, so we should be all set. So this is easy as 1, 2, and 3. So we're gonna put these on both sides. So you guys might have noticed that there is a pinhole inside here, and you're kind of might be confused that might not be right, but it is. So a lot of turbos, you're supposed to put oil restrictor in there. Basically, a lot of the turbos just can't hold the pressure that the engine is sending of the oil into the turbo, or else your turbo is just gonna smoke. It's gonna burn a crap ton of oil. So restrictors are very important, and this one has one built in. So now we can mount her up, and we should be all set. The guys just showed up. What do you think?
This went from a drift build to a drag build really quick.
No.
I mean, no, it'll be hype.
No.
That's crazy.
Put your head next to it, Jip.
Dude, it's bigger than my head. Brake booster finna. I'm hyped. Shout out to CX Racing. Shout out to CX Racing for really hooking it up. Check out their website. They have turbos for literally anything, from like a lawnmower to like a jet plane. Not literally, but go check it out. They have everything.
I'll put the link in the description, guys. Make sure you check it out. Give it a click for me. Come on. All right, we're just gonna throw the wastegate on real quick. It's really easy. It's just, you know, 2 bolts and a gasket, so.
2 bolts.
Easy as that. So now that the wastegate is on, the turbo's on, the manifold's on, so now we have to look for the oil feed line. The oil feed line, they actually utilize the factory oil pressure sensor port, and it comes with a block that essentially lets you tap into it, and you can still keep your sensor if you want to, and then it basically allows the line to run behind the motor and then feed the oil with high pressure oil. So a lot of guys, if you don't have this, a lot of guys, they sell sandwich plates that basically is a plate that goes in between your oil filter housing and your block, and it gives you a fitting kind of like this you can tap into. So that's always an option. Those are pretty cheap. So let's put it in. All right, so this one might be annoying to do in the car, but sensor is literally right here. Oil's probably gonna spill out.
Let me grab it. You want like a cup or?
Drew, there it is.
Gatorade quick.
All right, so this is the block. It has 4 fittings in it. So this goes into the oil filter housing. Then this goes to here. This is a cap if you don't want to utilize one end. Here's the oil pressure sensor, and then the line should be coming out of here. So we got the oil feed line, and we're gonna put it in the block. If you want, if I can get it started. Oh, there we go. And make sure to use Teflon tape because these are NPT fittings. All right, now you gotta tighten that. And then, as you can see, oil feed comes up, around, and then there we go.
To the turbski.
There you go, nice and easy and clean. All right, so now the next step is for the oil drain. So I kind of realized that it comes with a bung that actually uses like 2 banjo bolt washers that kind of just compresses itself on the pan, so you actually don't even have to weld it in. You can if you want to for like precautionary, but I think we'll be all set. We're gonna use some Loctite, make sure this doesn't back off, but this is pretty sweet. Very, you know, user convenient friendly. There you go. So we gotta drop the pan, which we've been needing to do for a while, and then drill a 1/2 inch hole and squeeze this in there. Chip, do the honors. Pan is off. It actually looks really clean in here. I'm pretty excited. No residue, nothing. So it's good news. The mystery KA seems pretty clean. All right, so while Chip's cleaning up the bottom of the engine, I'm gonna drill the hole in the oil pan. Now for this fitting, like I was saying, it kind of just sandwiches itself in the oil pan. There's no welding involved, which is really convenient. So you take a 1/2 bit drill bit and just go right through the side. Obviously you wanna go on the turbo side of the engine, so the left side of the engine. And you wanna be as high up on the case as possible when you do it. Just make sure you don't put it in front of the mounting holes. I'm gonna go right in the middle, directly underneath the turbo, and we should be all set. Got 1 washer on. Well, clearly you gotta clean your hole at first, like deburr it so it's a nice flush seal.
Always have a clean hole.
Put it through. Tighten it nice. And there you go. It's as easy as that. So now we're gonna clean the pan up, clean the, Chip's finished cleaning the block, RTV it, put it back on. So the old RTV. So where we going now, Chip?
To the parts store to get brake clean, RTV, and paper towels because Drew wouldn't go.
Dude, cashing out in the shop towels.
Dude, because we're gonna use so many of them.
So I put the fitting in. It's literally just a sandwich. I Loctite the crap out of it so this doesn't back off. It's nice and tight. It's a good seal. You could always RTV the threads if you felt like it, but you probably shouldn't. Now the rest of it is all good and dry. We're gonna throw some RTV around this and then put the pan on. Easy as that. Get yourself some gray RTV just because this is like the most oil resistant one.
RTV.
So there you go. The OEM gasket is like a rubber gasket or it's a cork gasket. They don't seal as well. It's better just to do with an RTV. So let's lay some beads.
More is better. Trying to get the LRC shot.
I'm literally about to use a whole tube. If this leaks, life would suck. No one likes an oily, leaky car. Just makes you look sus.
There you go. Oh yeah, we're going in.
RTV parts on, like kind of hand tight. Let it cure for a couple hours and then crank it down.
So it'll act more as a gasket and less than just the suction. So we got it all wrapped around.
This is definitely
that
tool to use.
Not the best application for the procedure we're trying to do, but.
Alright, so that's all it takes to basically hook up the CX Racing Turbo Kit. There's not much more to it. Well, you still need the whole exhaust and the intercooler system, but we'll do that once in the car. But in terms of getting everything done on the motor, this is about it. That was so straightforward and easy to do. If you guys have any other questions on this turbo kit or any other kits, let me know. I'll try and answer as best as I can. This is going to be my first time actually turboing in a vehicle, so I'm pretty stoked to see how it holds up. Now, there's definitely some more upgrades we could do to it, but this is a budget-friendly kit, so it's kind of just getting you ready to go, safe, and all that good stuff. It's kind of a good balance between the two. If we wanted to make more safe power, Obviously a tunable ECU, bigger injectors, better math and all that stuff, but they say the KA should be able to hold up with stock everything if you just do a stock 7 PSI in this, and should be fine. You'd obviously make more power with the tune, but the tune will make up for 7 PSI and under. If you get greedy, you're gonna blow your car up. The whole purpose of this build was to be a budget build. There's a few steps of the build that I've been saying like is optional, not like going crazy with the paint, going with the tubs, all that stuff. For this, we'll consider this as an optional part.
Very optional.
I know so many guys that literally slay the track on stock A's. They're great little torque monsters and they're really reliable. So I don't want to, like, you don't have to think like, oh, I need more power to be a good drifter. You don't. This is just because this is fun. CX Racing hooked us up, and it's just a good learning experience for all of us. When it comes down to it, this is a budget turbo kit. This is to get you going. This is about like probably a third of the price of most turbo kits, so you really can't beat it. So I think this is around $1,200. I could be wrong, but you can't beat that for turbo included. Unreal.
All hardware, everything.
All hardware and everything. So we'll consider a budget turbo kit for the budget hatch. And remember guys, another shout out to CX for hooking up on the kit. They have turbo kits for literally anything under the sun. They're always researching and developing new products. So definitely check the description, check out their site, see if they have something for you, whether it's a turbo kit, even if you just need little stuff, it's just the piping for the intercooler. Make sure you check them out and see all the stuff they have. Link below. All right, Jip. So what did we accomplish today?
Today we got the turbo kit pretty much all put together. We just have to get the clutch put in, a bunch of other little things, but mostly it's all together.
So hopefully tomorrow we can marry up the tranny and maybe even drop it in if we can find a hoist. I'm really hoping for it. I'm going to try and find somewhere that sells the 5.0 bolts in stock, maybe Nissan's dealer. If not, maybe an aftermarket dealer. I could see if I can overnight something. I'm just really eager to get it in now that we actually have most of the parts. So huge shout out again to CX Racing. You guys got to do me a favor and just click the link in the description. It'll be great. So you guys know the drill.
Like, comment, subscribe, and stay tuned for a whole lot of more content.